Logan, when you lose it all because you realize life is not about that, I gained something so much greater that it kind of became my mission. Like I looked around and I realized how much misery I was in. I look around now, I realize how much pain all my people are in right now. And it kind of became my itch, to be honest. And that's the itch I'm trying to scratch. I want to try to liberate people from what they think is trapping them right now. And I do that by talking about death. And contrary to popular belief, death doesn't have to be a sad topic. How I view life is that life is like a song. And if we talk about death, it's because I know this song at some point is going to come to an end. If you realize that, if you realize your demise, then you get to dance freely forever. You know, it's the synopsis of everything I'm about. So I'm hoping I can show people what's real, what's not real, so they can dance freely as long as they've got a breath left in them. Logan, growing up, I grew up poor. I lived in 7 different countries, or I experienced life in 7 different countries, and it was very, very eye-opening. However, I struggled with doubt a lot. I struggled with insecurities. I struggled with self-worth. I struggled a lot with anxiety, to a point that, to be honest with you, I even at some point attempted suicide. Life got so hard and so bad that I just completely felt lost, and I didn't have the will to live because I didn't understand my purpose. At some point, to be transparent with you, I fell in love with money because being broke, it just didn't feel good. I never had security. So just literally by watching people like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and so on and so forth, I just really got in the groove of entrepreneurship. Now, at the time, this is early 2000s, right? And entrepreneurship wasn't as hot of a topic as it is now. There wasn't people like Gary Vee and so on and so forth for me to look up to, but there were other people that had done it on a mass scale. So for me, it became almost this obsession to make as much money as I possibly could. At first, I wanted to make 30, 40 grand. Then when I did that, I wanted to make 100 grand because I still wasn't happy. Then I wanted to make $500,000 a year because I thought maybe then I'll be happy. Then when I did that, I still wasn't happy. Then it was $1,000,000. Then it was $10 million. Then in the cusp of me setting my eyes on $100 million every 12-month sequence and taking my company, one of my tech companies public and so on and so forth, I got these massive headaches one day, Logan. I just got up and I couldn't see from my right eye. I kept rubbing it. You know how sometimes you wake up, you feel like you got something in your eye, you got to rub it to kind of get it out there? You ever get that?
Yeah, every now and then, the
Okay.
sleepies, the sleep boogers, just to paint the picture in someone's
There you go.
mind.
So that's what I thought it was, but it took an entire a year, my brother. It took an entire year, and some of the best neurosurgeons at Cedars-Sinai and UCLA. And after seeing 23 of the smartest surgeons I could possibly buy with money, they looked me in the eye, and after a year of testing, said, "Dude, listen, we honestly, frankly, have exhausted anything and everything we can do. You can either go to Germany or Europe and try to figure out other things that might be going on, but we have no idea what's wrong with you. We found 3 spots or lesions." At first, they thought they were tumors, but then they started calling them lesions, which when I looked up, it just means basically spots that are growing and so on and so forth, because they changed the diagnosis half a dozen times. At the end of the year, they basically said, "Hey, all we can do is inject you with a bunch of steroids just to see what happens because we're out of options." That's when I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 no. We're not injecting me with anything. Like, how much time do I have? And obviously, as you understand, they're doctors, and because of legal things, they can't tell you those things, right? So they said, "We honestly don't know, Ash." I said, "Okay, well, how much time do you think I could have? Like, worst case scenario, best case scenario?" They said that, I mean, what if you were like kind of Stephen Hawking's type, right? You could live with this for a while, even though it might have consequences. At the same time, worst case scenario, maybe you might only have 6 months to live. dude, my entire freaking life turned upside down. Now, this is a peak of my career. This is when I'm buying cars left and right. This is when I'm like flashing my money like there is no tomorrow, and I'm winning all these awards, and I've gone on all these like prestigious platforms and so on and so forth, and yet I still don't feel good. And I thought if I reach $100 million a year, maybe that's when I'm gonna reach finally happiness, because that's why this whole journey began. And it just completely put me on a different path. The first 3 to 5 months, I would say, I was very, very depressed because as you can imagine, like being given that kind of a news when you have so much desires and aspirations and goals and so much ego. My mom is crying on one hand. My girlfriend at the time is just crying nonstop. I'm having to give everybody my passwords, sign a will, create a trust, make sure the information that I have goes somewhere, make sure people have my passwords in case they need to access some of my accounts after I die. What if I had a bank account? What happens to my car? What about my house in Calabasas? Like all of it, right? All of it was what I had to face. And ironically enough, Logan, when you lose it all because you realize life is not about that, I gained something so much greater that it kind of became my mission. Like I looked around and I realized how much misery I was in. I look around now, I realize how much pain all my people are in right now. And it kind of became my itch, to be honest. And that's the itch I'm trying to scratch. I want to try to liberate people from what they think is trapping them right now. And I do that by talking about death. And contrary to popular belief, Logan, death doesn't have to be a sad topic. How I view life is that life is like a song. And if we talk about death, is because I know this song at some point is going to come to an end. If you realize that, if you realize your demise, then you get to dance freely forever. You know? It's the synopsis of everything I'm about. So I'm hoping I can show people what's real, what's not real, so they can dance freely as long as they've got a breath left in them.
Wow. 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 What you just listened to was Ash Sobhe's origin story. Wow. Going from absolute hero to zero and then back up to hero again. And the next episode, we're going to go into what I could start doing for money, even though I don't have a job. And this is an opportunity for you to maybe build some own ideas of your own. So, with this being said, please hit that subscribe button. If you're feeling down, the best way to feel up again is by bringing someone else up. And honestly, I'm not in a really good place. I'm scared. Not sure what to do. I'm not feeling too good about things. But I believe 100% in belief itself. Because every time I've realized that when I believe, I allow opportunity to come back into my life. So please lift me up by hitting that subscribe button. And if you found this at all heartwarming, please pay the best compliment by just hitting that share button. Don't let it slip. That moment where you know you can help someone else out can slip right through your fingers, just like motivation. Where you know, after listening to something inspirational or relatable, and you just let it go. But here's your chance to help someone else out, to bring something else out for your own life, to share not just our story, but your own. By hitting that share button, it'll help a lot. So, thank you so much for listening in, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Ash Sobhe Show.